Here we are. It is going to be a great day, my friends. And right now, um, it's June 19th. The weather's getting warmer. The sun is starting to come out. And so you know what? We need to talk about some heat. That's right. You heard me. There's all kinds of great things to talk about when you're involved with me in real estate. But we are going to go over some heat maps today, right? Real estate heat maps. You are going to see what's really going on, what is heating up, and what is getting cold, my friends. But before we do that, one of the things I want to show you, and this is stuff that I'm pretty much proud of, and the reason why is because I spend a lot of time and money on this type of thing. Is that if you know me, I'm not the type of real estate broker that's just going to take a property when we put it on the market, whether it's investment, commercial, single family, luxury. I'm not just going to put it on the multiple listing service and let it sit. Okay. I spend a lot of time and energy making sure that we are giving my clients the best, the most exposure possible. So before we go over these heat maps, I just want to give you a reminder to say, hey, listen, here's one of the things that I do. So as an example, here's a postcard, and these are the bigger postcards. As you can see, the bigger postcards, what happens with them? Well, they cost you more money, right? So technically they cost me, Rob Rosa, more money. Okay. So as an example, here is one of the postcards that I sent out for this 3-family home. Right. And so not only do we send out the postcard, but we also have QR codes for these. We have websites for these so that we can help to understand who is taking a look at that particular postcard, who's looking at that marketing, who might be interested in potentially buying the home so that we can follow up with them, or buying that commercial property so that we can follow up with them. Now, as you have questions, as you have comments, please let me know. I think you're going to find some of this information interesting. But once again, just wanted to show you, here's a postcard I did. Here's a single family home that we're out there marketing. Here's an absolutely gorgeous historical home in Berlin, Connecticut, in the historic district. And that's over there on Worthington. That's absolutely beautiful. And if you have questions about it, all you need to do is let me know, or put some comments in the chat. You let me know. And here's another home. Now, also, before we go over the heat maps, I want to remind you, I have 3 books, right? And these books, the reason why I am reminding you, because I'm willing to give you a free copy of the book, right? So this one right here is a complete guide to buying. I have another one called The Selling Secrets, right? You want to know the secrets to selling your property at the most money possible. You let me know. I have a book for that. And then I also have a book about probate. So with that in mind, if you're thinking that you need to learn about probate, maybe someone, a friend, a family member inherited a property and they're not sure what to do, well, we can help you out with understanding what to do with probate. But let's get started on the meat and potatoes of today, and that's the heat maps. What's going on in the area of your real estate, and especially in Connecticut, because that's what I'm going to focus on today, right? What is going on with it? Let's talk about it. Let's get a good understanding. So first, what I'm going to do is kind of share this heat map with you, and then we're going to get right in there and we are going to take a look at it and see what it is that we need to do, how we need to do it in order to get a really good understanding of things. All right. So we're going to focus on this first one right here. And this first one is really just about sales, right? So this one is number of sales. And this is in the last 3 months right here in Connecticut. So as you can see, right, if we were to look, let's just look at the central, right, part of the state. So like for instance, Glastonbury, 69 sales, right? 06118, which is the southern part of East Hartford, 60 sales, right? And this is in the last 3 months. Okay, if we look at Manchester, 73 sales. If we look at Wethersfield, oh wow. So look at that. Manchester 06040, which is the southern part of Manchester, 73. Wethersfield, 73 sales, right? 06111, Newington, 78 sales. Rocky Hill, 36 sales. Now you can see that the darker the number, right, the more sales we have. So if we were to look here, okay, towards the shore, we're going to notice, right, 06902, 122 sales. Look at Bristol, Connecticut, 06010, 158 sales, right? So you can see that the darker the number, the more the number of sales here in the state of Connecticut, right? And once again, this is information over the last 90 days. Now, really where I wanted to start from is days on market. I thought that this is interesting, right? And again, with this one, the lighter the number, the more days on the market. Okay, so let's take a little bit closer look at this, right? And we're going to see, okay, well, you know what? 06783 over the last 90 days, right? Homes are still on the market 144 days, 147 days, 06793. But and I worked this whole state, my friends. Believe me when I tell you, I worked this whole state. But, if we kind of look at central Connecticut, right? And we look right here in East Hartford, 10 days on the market, 06118. 06108, 12 days on the market. Glastonbury, not staying long, 8 days on the market. How about South Windsor? 9 days on the market. The northern part of Manchester, 8 days on the market. Manchester southern part, 11 days on the market. Wethersfield, 06109, 8 days on the market. Rocky Hill, 13 days on the market. Let's go down south. 06441, 13 days. 06419, 14 days. 06443, 15 days. So I can tell you, as we go through this heat map, there's really only one thing that I can definitely promise you, my friends. And what that is that things are going to change, right? We can say, well, I had somebody ask me yesterday, a very nice person, friend of mine, well, how's the market? What's going on? Is it going to get better for buyers? Well, yes, it's going to get better for buyers. Do I know when? No. This has been a 5-year market of it continuously swinging into the sellers to help the sellers, right? It's been helping the sellers in the last 5 years. Do I know how much longer it will be this way? No, but we're watching, we're waiting, we're looking to see, well, when is it going to change, right? So let's look at average percentage closed over asking price, okay? And so once again, the darker the number, means that it closed for a higher price over asking. The darker the number, higher price over asking on average. All right. So hopefully you're liking this information. It's being useful to you. It's interesting to you. And if you have questions, all you need to do is text me, call me, email me, direct message me, and I'll try to help you out every way that I can. Well, again, this is average percentage closed over asking. So if we look at Manchester in the last 90 days, the average is 4.45%, right? So the home is selling, the price is 4.45% over asking. Glastonbury, 11% over asking, right? 06073, 9.81%. Portland area over asking. 06480, 2.53%. Let's look East Hartford, 3.54% over asking. So the darker the number, right, means that the higher it is over asking. So if we look 06498, 2.87% over asking, 06475, 1.57% over asking. Let's take a look at this one, 06426, minus 5.24% over asking. So this is showing you that the majority of the state, especially central Connecticut, right, which you can see there, especially central Connecticut, is closing homes a higher percent over asking, right? It's probably averaging somewhere around 4, 5, 6% over asking. You know, when we look at, let's say 06067, 4.32% over asking, right? Weathersfield, 8.36% over asking. Hartford area, 5.5% over asking. South Windsor, 5.92% over asking. 06095, 6.71% over asking. Now, once you go to more of Litchfield County, you can see we don't have all the numbers, but you can see that there's lighter numbers, right? Lighter colors. So 067 or 06793, 7.88% below asking, right? Milford, New Milford area, Danbury area, right? 06784, 5.57% under asking. So as you can see, my friends, the numbers are slowly but surely changing, and they're going to keep on changing, right? Because it's only inevitable that you need to have change, right? Everything goes into a cycle. But I thought that that would be an interesting heat map to review with you. Now, let's look at median sales price. The darker the number, the higher the average sales price. So this is in the last 90 days. The darker the number, the higher average sales price. And as you can probably, you know, if you know anything about Connecticut, you're going to know that this Fairfield County area here, when we talk about Greenwich and Stamford and Norwalk and even in Ridgefield area and so forth, is you know, more expensive. I mean, if we look here, look at this, 06870 median sales price is 2.650%. I know it might be hard to read, 2.650%, right? This is called the Gold Coast of Connecticut, right? Median sales price, 06878, 2.79 or 2.795 million, right? 2.795 million. 06880, 2.12 million. Now, to me, I'm not trying to pick and choose, you know, like give favorites, but I love this mid-shore area, right? When you talk about Old Saybrook and Old Lyme and Guilford and Madison and Clinton and Brantford and so forth. So like, look at this, 06498, 625,000 is the average sales price in the last 6 days. I mean, oh my gosh, in the last 90 days, right? 06413, 465,000 in the last 90 days. And then if you get over here towards like Stonington, that's an absolutely beautiful area, $775,000 in the last 90 days, right? So once again, this is a heat map, and the darker the number basically is giving you the higher median sales price, right? I thought that would be some interesting information to share with you. And then lastly, which we kind of started off with, but I'll spend a couple more minutes, is number of sales, right, in the last 90 days. Now, I'm going to, the first week of July, my friends, I will be reviewing the monthly numbers with you, right? I will be making sure that you feel comfortable knowing, hey, here's what's going on in the marketplace, right? Here's what's going on mainly in Connecticut and the different sections of Connecticut and the different towns of Connecticut. But if you feel like you need to know exactly your home, you want a room by room preview, you want to know, hey, Rob, I'm curious about my particular home, right? Well, then all you need to do is go to my website, which is called homepricechange.com. That's right, the word homepricechange.com. And what I will do is make sure that we set up an appointment and I'll come by, no charge to you. And I'll take a look at the home and I will be able to give you a room by room custom home valuation and marketing report. Okay. And so that'll give you an idea of maybe sometimes people are not sure, well, should I paint this? Should I remove this furniture? Hey, Rob, what should I do with this warehouse? What should I do with this basement? What should I do with this lower level? What should I do with this office area? And I will be able to help you, whether it's commercial or residential. But getting back to the heat maps, those were 90-day numbers. And we know that sooner or later it's going to change. Those were numbers by zip code, and that sooner or later, right, the cycle is going to revert back the other way. But if you want specific town or neighborhood or even your own property evaluation, just give me a call. Let me know. So it's June 19th. I hope that you're absolutely having an amazing day. I hope that you're spending some time with family and friends. And I definitely wish you the best every step of the way, my friends. God bless you. And this is Rob Rosa. Hopefully your favorite real estate broker. Signing out. We'll talk to you later.